Hello everyone and welcome back to Shantae. So, we have 3 of our 4 magical MacGuffins. It's time to do a little bit of cleanup and go to where the next dungeon is. So, now that we have Spider, we can walk up this wall. It doesn't look like you could do that at all, actually.
Nope.
Thankfully, the power-up we get in the next dungeon does let you fly, so in case you don't figure it out, you can just, fly up to it.
At this point, I believe since we are on the way to the 4th dungeon soon, the Tinkerbat transformation will also soon be available.
Yes.
And Tinkerbell is cheat mode, right? It does everything but fly.
It is the monkey, it is the spider, and it's the elephant, and all in one.
What has science created?
A Tinkerbat.
A Tinkerbat.
You have to wonder why Risky keeps losing when she has Tinkerbats at her command.
Because Tinkerbats literally can't do anything without her command.
Yeah, they're a little stupid.
I mean...
But yeah, the flip kick and dive drill makes quick work of the Nagas.
Oh, those guys are always the most annoying assholes in the later games, the Nagas. Oh, wait, no, hold on. They're not the most annoying assholes. The most annoying asshole is the Scorpion Girl.
Yeah.
She's the most annoying asshole.
Any enemy that will just parry your attack, like lol, no, with no fucking discernible reason, can suck. Because there's no strategy to it. It's just, I'm going to attack, and then if it goes through, it goes through. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I don't quite understand how it works with both of the Scorpion Girls and the blue dudes.
Oh, you mean like the crab guys who the
who'll just parry high and low
talk to the hand
with
guys.
with no discernible tells. Yeah, it's I don't quite understand what the design mentality was behind those guys. Besides, sometimes you can just hit them, sometimes you can't.
I mean, I've tried a lot of different things. Doing it fast doesn't seem to work. Doing it slow works better than doing it fast, but it's not consistent.
Maybe they just have an Elder Scrolls to hit roll. Like from the good old days when you would swing your sword at a bandit and have a 30% chance to hit at the beginning of the game.
Well, I mean, it's better than 0.
So what you're saying is in Elder Scrolls, you literally can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Well, I mean, they from Oblivion onward, they dropped this mechanic, but in the first 3 games, they were going by old school computer RPG logic, which meant you had to have accuracy in order to hit. And this made enough sense in Daggerfall, where everything was a 2D sprite, so you couldn't physically see whether or not your sword should be hitting your opponent. But in Morrowind, it looks a bit funky, because everything is in 3D, and it's your sword can swing right through the enemy and not actually do any damage.
It reminds me of that XCOM meme where the guy has the gun basically point blank at the enemy's forehead, and it says chance to hit 60%.
That's a hell of a recoil.
Well, I mean, you can sometimes get that kind of situation in VATS when you're playing Fallout. You go into your little pause time menu, and you choose a target, and even if you're close, if your gun skill sucks, you'll only have a 60% chance of hitting someone in the head or something, even at close range. And being at close range just does increase the chance to hit. But that's more of a concession to the fact that the game is really meant to be played in first-person shooters. In first-person shooter mode, the whole pausing and selecting a target and attacking that target with a percentage to hit is kind of an RPG crutch. In Morrowind,
I'll tell you one thing,
you
though.
basically just suck at combat until halfway through the game.
It is refreshing watching a Shantae playthrough where someone is actively just fighting every enemy along the way and not just using a Visit Creams to get a move on. I lost patience to fighting shit pretty fast in this game.
Honestly, once you get the flip kick and the drill, most things go down pretty quick in this game.
During the day, anyway.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, at night, it's holy fuck.
At night, it's don't bother fighting anything.
What am I doing here? Yeah, I would have liked the upgraded attacks more. It's just that I really don't feel incentivized to kill anything considering the payouts are so pitiful. You're getting most of your money in this game by playing the minigames.
Yeah.
the dancing stuff. So I think each town has their own flavor of minigame, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
I understand why games of this time tried to occasionally have a day-night system, and like what really gets me about it though is how long it took them to make it not suck. Because, like, you know, it didn't take long for people to realize that, you know, it just generally wasn't fun for nighttime to just mean, oh, well, you better not fight anything now because everything is a damage sponge. But they kept doing it anyway.
At least ramp up the rewards if you're gonna do that.
Oh yeah,
make it worth it.
I keep bringing up Final Fantasy 15 in this context, but you know, taking down that Iron Giant does give you a nice fat XP payout.
Even Simon Quest did that. Like, you don't want to fight enemies at night because they have larger health pools, but they did give you more hearts if you manage to kill them.
Oh yeah, great. More hearts.
Well, hearts was money in that game, so
Wrong item, stupid.
I mean, it's not like you can avoid enemies in Simon's Quest, though. Like, that's not really an option.
No, what you would do is just stand in place and wait for wait for night to change back to day.
Or you just set like your attack to auto fire and just hit the button and just fucking
Turbo controller.
stun lock them.
But like, it took a depressingly long time for games to start tying, you know, day-night cycles to, like, other mechanics in games. Not just survival mechanics, either. Like, I think as early as Oblivion, you can legitimately become a vampire in Elder Scrolls, and it's cool. Because you have to actually watch day and night and deal with the consequences of being out at night. And the first Legacy of Kain game anyway, also tied like the day-night cycle to your strength as a vampire. You wouldn't like burn up in the sun or anything, but you were significantly stronger at night. So sort of the inverse of the usual problem.
The Kain goes grocery shopping because that's the only thing I can feasibly do around this time of the day.
Of course, you did take damage if you got caught in the rain, which was cool.
I was going to say, I want a game where being a vampire gives you all the weaknesses, such as sunlight and running water and wood stakes and, you know, just being near a cross and garlic.
I never understood running water as a weakness for vampires.
Running water in, like, folklore or whatever, it creates a barrier that vampires and other evil things can't pass over.
But so, I don't think they were a weakness for vampires until like one of the Christopher Lee movies.
Well, they're not. It's not a specific vampire thing. It's more of a dark creatures thing.
So
because running water is pure and holy.
Running water's in the original Dracula.
Well, it's not specifically a vampire thing, but it does apply to vampires.
If somebody left the faucet running, that really angered Dracula.
You'll also see
so our best defense against them is the wet bandits.
You'll also see it in other stories. Like, I'm pretty sure one of the Tomb Raider Chronicles stories is this story about Lara when she was a teenager. Complete non-combat because she's a teenager. But the story involves this dark entity who's trapped on like an island surrounded by running water. And I forget whether or not you end up letting it go by the end, but it's an interesting situation.
For inviting a vampire into your house, does inviting them into like your digital house on like VR chat count?
Like if you invited vampire into your Discord server, can they like go into your house and raid your fridge?
I wonder.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wonder where the vampires need to be invited across your threshold thing came from.
I'm not sure. I know that like
I'm not sure about the origin of it. I'm just more thinking about the logistics of it.
Well, I mean, the idea of it is pretty obvious. It's a kind of religious idea that if you end up associating with vampires, it's because you brought it upon yourself, you know? But
may I come in? No. Oh, okay. Just turns around and leaves.
It's kind of an idea.
Does inviting them to your guild in Final Fantasy 14 count?
Well, there are no vampires that are your allies in 14.
No, I'm talking about like 14's, like if the vampire is a 14 player.
Oh, sure, maybe. Folklore's stupid.
Well, folklore is kind of
That's
just
what somebody who's about to get eaten by a vampire is gonna say.
Yeah, it's true. No, I didn't invite him in the house.
Folklore is just a mishmash of different ideas that have been, cobbled together from a billion different sources, all with their own different imaginations, their own different worldviews that influence what they say. What is with this sort of like?
Yeah, I thought that my video was screwing up for a minute.
No, it's the float muffin. It's the float muffin. The
float
makes you vibrate.
Does accepting the vampire as a ride share count as inviting them in?
The float the float muffin makes you vibrate, huh? I can see why. Yeah. I can see why the ladies like them. Okay, so setting that aside,
does an RV count as a house?
It could, depending.
No, Plankton.
I mean,
an RV is not a house.
There are a lot of places where you can just buy a trailer or a boathouse or whatever, plug it into a power line and an internet line, and just...
What would win out, the running water of a boathouse on a river or inviting them in?
But vampires cannot, on their own, enter a house without an invitation because the threshold of, on a mythological and spiritual level, it's considered as a kind of magical and protective barrier that gives security to the home. If vampires try to enter uninvited, they will get weakened or even lose their powers.
That sounds fake as shit.
So, it's fake as shit.
It probably has ties to like witchcraft and stuff, where
it started as early as the 17th century.
That time, like ages ago, when I climbed in your window to unlock the door, the guy I went through the guy next door's house, and he had like a magic circle drawn in front of the door, and I'm like,
holy fuck, I remember that. I do remember that. Oh fuck, I fucked myself because you're a vampire. I just totally let you inside my house.
But like,
does it only count to the house you were in when that happened, or does it count to your current house?
For context, so that the audience knows what I'm talking about. We got locked out of John's house temporarily on our way back from a convention, and like we thought we'd have to wait for someone to get home, but the guy next door, one of the windows was open, and the guy next door offered to, let me climb in the window through his house. So
does it only count?
Then Lewis said "fool," and then fog emitted from his feet.
Yeah,
and he floated inside.
So I went through his house, went upstairs, climbed into the window, and unlocked the house from the inside. And it was a bit of an adventure because like the inside of this guy's house was kind of fascinating, to be honest.
Does the invitation only count for the homeowner, or does it count if you're like a renter?
I should probably be glad I'm not a vampire because that magic circle in front of the door was kind of worrying. It was like a pentagram or something. But, boy.
Are there any more legal loopholes that we could ask about vampires?
How does a hostel fall into this?
Do you have to ask for permission if you're a vampire to go into their hotel room?
No, I don't think that would count.
Yeah, because technically not your place. It belongs to the company. They have to ask the company. That's
why I'm asking. Does it count? Does only the homeowner count? Because if you're like just renting a room, like renting out their basement or something, does that count?
Yeah.
Because can the vampire only come in if the homeowner says it's okay?
Listen, landlords are vampires, so this doesn't really have much to do with anything.
They wouldn't need your permission to go inside anyway.
So, like, back to vampirism and Elder Scrolls, though, the thing about that is that the way to become a vampire in the Elder Scrolls is to sleep outdoors. There's just a random-ass chance that if you sleep outdoors, and you need to sleep to level up, I should mention, if you sleep in some bandit camp that you happened to clear out or something, there's a chance you'll contract a disease called something sanguine something or other, and if you don't cure that within a couple of days, you will become a vampire.
So a vampire just found you lying on the ground outside and was like, sweet free snack?
Yeah, basically. Basically, yes.
Wow. Think about that for a moment, though. Like, what? Who taught this vampire manners? Would you just eat a random chocolate bar you found on the ground in the middle of the woods?
To be fair, he's not invited into many houses.
Look. It's called the 3-year rule. Okay, it's like the 3-second rule to immortals.
3 years.
Yeah, they're immortal. 3 years is like 3 seconds.
How much blood do you think is left in a 3-year-old corpse? Yeah,
not
that's
much. Not much.
No, Lewis cannot answer that because it would give him his position away of being a vampire himself. We talked about this already.
No, I mean, like, by then, yeah, there's not, like, nothing. The body is rotted and become half skeleton. There's no blood left. Okay, so, fire turtle. I like...
No, don't try to talk about the game now. I want to talk about vampires.
I like how when the fire turtle falls into its shell, it doesn't look so much like a turtle shell as an igloo. Oh God!
That might have been in the intent because
this is the ice level, so it's an igloo fire turtle.
Yeah. Right.
Which makes a weird kind of sense because igloos are like a dwelling made to keep warm by keeping the cold out. Using
Ryan,
the ice
progression was that way.
I wanted to say a point.
But he also there's a save point here.
Okay, so...
Yeah, but you're
just
conspicuously not touching the save point. Oh, can fireflies only be found at night?
Yes.
Oh, God. And there's no quick night-day swapping.
Nope.
Oh, man.
If a vampire is dating someone with the last name house, do they need permission to enter?
Oh, Jesus Christ. The vampire at this point I just want to go home.